tragic?
He left his village. He couldn't.
Was it
Couldn't.
mysterious circumstances?
It was.
I see.
He couldn't handle the emotions of being in his village, so he took to traveling.
Was a bear involved?
Uh, no.
What kind of music do you play in these pipes?
I used to play love ballads, but now I only play somber, sad songs.
Well, let me ask, how do you play a ballad on the pipes, right? Because you can't sing while playing the pipes, right?
Fair. But the melody of it.
Oh, okay. So you were like part of a group, maybe. And
Perhaps.
You were like, so what do you do now? More somber.
I played. Well, Eliana sang.
Oh shit! Okay.
Oh.
Got some Kavothian architecture here.
I'm making this shit up as I go along.
Yeah,
by the
she's
way.
your Denna then. Yeah, that's right. Patrick Rothfuss fans, you know what I'm talking about.
Wait, Dennis dead?
Not yet.
The old king is dead. Long live the king.
Yeah.
But the important part was that Quas would play and Denna would sing, right? That's the thing. Let's talk about clothing. Do you have ostentatious clothes?
Absolutely.
I see. So rather than go for the armor, you're a fancy man then. What exactly is so ostentatious about your clothing?
I think it's the fact that it looks completely ridiculous that he wears just the most garbage, bad worn traveling clothes. It's
That's not very ostentatious. That's almost the exact opposite of ostentatious, right?
But it's like they're so just ruined that
Are
it
you a
stands
hipster?
out. Yes.
Okay, you're setting like a trend because you're like
I'm gonna make dirty clothes, dirty rags, the next fashion.
Yep.
I wore dirty rags before dirty rags were cool.
I see. All right. What armament have you picked?
I have a worn bow, a bundle of arrows, and a short sword.
And what is your choice?
I have the halfling pipe leaf.
Of course, the halfling pipe leaf. For those at home, the halfling pipe leaf is actually a pretty sweet item. When you share halfling pipe leaf with someone, you expend 2 of the 5 uses and take a +1 forward to parlay with them, which means it's very good for making deals with people.
Smoke the peace pipe.
Exactly. All right. So, let's talk about bonds. Who would like to go first in establishing bonds with their fellows? What these are statements with blanks in them. And when you fill them in, we learn more about both the person you're bonding with and about yourself.
Where are my bonds? Oh, there they are. Oh, Emery will play an important role in the events to come. I have foreseen it.
And Max does not understand life in the wild, so I will teach them.
All right, interesting. Let me get these written down. What important role have you seen for Emery?
At first I was thinking he'd just save my ass, but that's just too simple.
That's not an important role in the events to come. I mean,
Yeah.
for you to know about him having an important role in events to come, you'd have to know something about the coming events. What have you seen?
Oh.
Is it an exact vision? I mean, did you literally see him like leading an army? Or is it more like a dream where, you interpret things about him?
Yeah, I think it's more kind of nebulous than an actual event.
Oh, what was this dream? Or nebulous? We can come back to it if you need to think about it for a little while. I want to hop on what Jeff said. Jeff, what was the bond that you were making with
With Max?
With Max.
Max does not understand life in the wild, so I will teach them.
Why do you think Max doesn't understand life in the wild?
From his actions.
What has he done that makes you think he's not prepared?
He does not respect bear.
Ah, of course. Now I understand. What All right. So now that we have an interesting set, both of these players need to write down the bond they have with the other, and we've learned more about each of their characters. At the end of the session, I'm going to ask if anyone feels any bonds have been resolved. If a statement is no longer true, or it no longer applies, then both players will mark, the person with the bond will mark experience points, erase that bond, and make a new one. So it's one of the ways to get EXP. You might be wondering, what are the other ways to get EXP? I'm glad you asked what these guys think about bonds. I'll tell you. Whenever you fail at a roll horribly, bad stuff happens, but you get an experience point. And at the end of the session, there are a couple of questions we'll ask, and for each of them that's resolved, experience point. And if you've played your alignment, experience point. That's how you level up in Dungeon World.
Don't you also get an experience point if you fail a roll?
Yep, that was the first thing I said.
Oh,
Well, Jim, I'll assume you weren't paying attention because you were so busy doing bonds. What bonds might you have there? Dale Wynn?
I think that wait, Max is James. Crap. Jeff, remind me your character's name. I gotta write this down this time.
Emery. Emery Fleet.
Emery. I believe that Emery does not trust me, and for good reason.
Steve,
Oh, this plays in perfectly.
what reason do you think that is?
Because I left Elvish Society a long time ago, and seemingly abandoned my people.
Ah, interesting. But isn't he an abandoned elf as well? He grew up in the forest.
No, I'm a human.
Oh, right.
Oh, James, are you the other elf?
I am not an
There
elf.
are no
I'm-
other elves.
we're-
They're both
Okay.
You
humans.
are the only elf.
You are the elf. But that does work perfectly, Jim.
All right,
because
we'll make the rationale different, but the bond is the same. Emery
Okay.
does not trust me, and for good reason.
All right.
Because I'm just some random elf that wanders around in the woods by himself, as opposed to being a part of an elven community. And
Well-
elven
Oh.
communities are trustworthy, but random people mucking about, probably not.
Oh, but wait. For I have guided Dalewyn before, and they owe me for it. Dalewyn is a friend of nature, so I will be their friend as well.
So that would mean this is not
Is
my
that,
first
is that two
advent?
different bonds?
No, that is all one. Well, it's kind of hard to tell because they
If
don't
there's
have a
two
space
blanks,
between. It's two blanks.
Then that's two different bonds. Interesting.
Oh, well, there's no space. Whereas
No, it's
the
fine.
other
Those
ones,
both can apply. I was actually going to ask people to pick one bond for each person and then one additional one. That works
Well-
great.
Jeff has established for me that this is not my first adventure with Emery.
Yeah. So, how have you guided him before?
It was many, many moons ago on the changing between summer and fall. And he was lost in the woods. And had it not been for my guidance, he most likely would have fallen.
Where did you lead him to?
To the outskirts of a human encampment.
Why do you believe he's a friend of nature?
His actions on that venture.
What can you name at least one action in particular that amplified his friendship with nature?
He did not destroy nature with wanton abandon as most do.
See. Now, for those of you that didn't catch it, we did learn something interesting about the world from Jim. Jim said everyone knows that elfin settlements and roaming elven bands are trustworthy. Apparently, the elves are Vulcans.
Apparently.
Yeah.
Which in turn...
But solo elves are not. So I'm getting the idea that the elves in this world are very tightly bound communities. And
Yeah.
elves that are cast out are considered,
Heretics.
dangerous.
Which means he is not Spock.
Did you say heretics?
I did.
Oh, what? What is the elven religion? I mean, I
I-
don't need a full breakdown, but what is it
I think
that?
it's a. I think it's tied to. I think it's a polytheistic religion,
Okay.
in which you worship the elves worship the great tree in which they build their societies
course.
around. A giant.
Of course.
They each have their great tree, and so you basically are tied to the
Nature of an area.
region you live in. Yeah, and there's a deity for that region.
And after Ileana's death, you left and you turned your back on your great
On the
tree.
great tree.
Yeah. Where
I
is
know.
your great tree located?
Far, not far. Several, at least several days or weeks journey to the west.
I see. And I mean, what's around it? I mean, the great tree could be metaphorical, right? It doesn't have to be a literal
No, I think
tree.
it's an actual tree. I think it's the
well,
biggest
it sounded
tree.
like every region has a tree.
The biggest tree in a particular
in their
Oh,
home
for
camp,
instance-
in their home camp.
Underwater, there's not going to be trees, right? The greatest tree there
will be a seaweed. Yes.
yeah, it
Or-
could be
or-
the gigantic seaweed. And in the desert, there's not going to be a tree. It might be
It's
the
the giant
cactus. Yeah. So what is the giant tree for your region? Like, what's the
I
surrounding
think
area?
it's an. How cliche do I want to be? We'll say it's an oak.
Okay, so you
Oh,
come
you don't
from an
wanna be
actual
super-
forest.
You don't want to be super cliche and have it be the evergreen.
Well, I was thinking about going with maple, but I like oak better for
What
whatever
about
reason.
with pine, just so that the pine cones fall off and then spread the great tree everywhere? And there will be thousands of great trees.
But there can only be one great tree. His children are many, but he is one.
Oh, well, all right. Well, we have oak. So you're in like a normal wooded forest.
Yeah.
Nothing, cactusy or seaweedy about it. Interesting. Let's talk about that bond you had there, Jim.
The one that
Dalewin.
that this is not my first adventure with Emery. That one.
No, the one where you lied to him.
Oh, he doesn't trust. No, he doesn't trust me, and for good reason.
Why doesn't he trust you?
Because I am one of these wandering elves. I abandoned Father Oak.
This is
and the-
interesting.
and
He
the oak tribe.
believes- He has this dual vision of you. Then I want to hear how we resolve this. He believes you're a friend of nature, but that you're not a trustworthy person to him.
I'm a friend of nature because I'm an elf, but I'm an extremely strange elf. But I think this is something that will have to be resolved in actual play.
Interesting. Got any other bonds you wish to share?
Yeah, I think Max is the butt of my jokes.
Oh.
Why wouldn't he be? I mean, just tell us, like, how did that come about? Of course, we all know that Max is the butt of your jokes, but when did that start exactly?
How long have I been adventuring with Max?
I don't know. How long have you been in?
I'm asking James.
Well, you're an elf, so you're extremely long-lived, I assume, or you might not be.
We've
I
established.
assume
He
you
said
are.
he's been wandering for decades, and Jeff said it's been many moons since his character met up with Dalewin. So I'm assuming he's not that young either.
Maybe we're more of a recent acquaintance then.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe a couple of months, something like that.
Okay, you guys have been adventuring together for a couple months. Interesting.
Which ties back into both of my bonds with Max. Because I have a second one.
So what happened a couple of months ago that led to?
I think he had a magical mishap that I thought was really funny, and I haven't let it go.
Oh, and the best thing is because the bond I was thinking of for you was that you're keeping an important secret from me. So maybe something happened that has affected me on a more consistent, like constant level, and you know how to fix it. Or
Maybe
you
no,
know some
I got it.
clue.
Let me suggest
Alright.
something here. Maybe like whenever you cast magic, there's something that happens. Like whenever you fail at magic, maybe you like fart or something. I just some social faux pas, right? Or maybe you start twitching or something, but you aren't aware of it. Whatever it is, you're not aware of it, and behind
And
your
I
back,
start mimicking it.
behind your back, Emery and
Dalewin
are both like, oh, he tried to light that fire again. Look at him over there, twitching in a corner.
Oh, and I'm trying to become famous, so that just makes it way worse.
So what is it exactly?
Famous
that
or
makes-
infamous?
Well, I'm trying to become famous.
What is it that makes that has made him the butt of the jokes there? What specific characteristic, Ilwyn, have you noticed about him? Is it when he casts magic? Is it just
Oh,
something
I think
he
it's
does?
I think it's a physical thing because, like I said, I think we sit there, we go hee 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 hee, hee, but I actually like start imitating it behind him, like shadowing
Okay.
him.
What is
So
it
it's something
exactly?
physical.
like a twitch, or my hair changes color, or what?
I
Well,
think
you
it's a
can't
twitch.
imitate your hair changing color.
I think it's a twitch because then I can imitate it.
Okay, all right.
Or loss of bodily functions.
Yeah,
Mm,
so we've determined that whenever you fail at spell casting or make a mistake, you start twitching uncontrollably, and you're not aware that it's happening.
But I am
So how many bonds does that give you, Jim?
3.
All right, James, how many bonds do you have?
2 now.
All right, you need an extra bond with someone.
Extra bond. Can I have a bond with Bear?
Yes.
Yes, you
So
may.
why not? What bond
Also-
do you have with Bear?
Also, Arthur, I see myself twice on the stream, once for me and once for James.
Oh my God, you're right. I
Yep,
fucked that
yep.
up so
I
hard.
see it too.
I looked over and I'm like, why am I on the screen twice?
World of Jeff.
Well, if that's the case, my face needs to be in all the camera slots.
Yeah, he's Michael, Jeff, James, and Jim.
Oh God,
And
sorry
us.
guys. James has been the whole time thinking he's on camera.
It's okay. It's okay.
Boom, nailed it. Now we've got the real James.
Yes. And with Bear, I think of him as a crazy, uncivilized beast because that's what he is. I must form him and make him into more of a mascot.
Which bond is that?
That is just a made up one.
You're making
because
one up? All right, that's perfectly fine.
The third one was
I believe Bear is an uncivilized beast. I will make him into a mascot.
I am writing a ballad about the adventures of Bear. I'm taking a 4th bond.
There once was a beast who was known as Bear. He rode across the land and made sure all was fair.
Don't make me Shannon Z Killer and start freestyle white boy rapping.
Listen, I know you never watched Dungeon World R&D, which is why I know that you never saw DJ Wheat playing a bard, and he only spoke in rhymes.
Hmm.
And he
Oh
only
my
sang
God.
out all his conversations.
Oh
It
my
was
god.
Listen, I'm telling you, man, you need to watch R&D. You've missed all the good ones. You missed Dark Heresy, which, you know, Total Biscuit, I know you're not a huge fan of.
I
but
hate Total Biscuit.
Dungeon World R&D was so good.
It's JP, DJ Wheat, and who are the other two?
Maggie and Sean Plott, who is Day 9 from StarCraft. He's the, I'm going to say top broadcaster, but that might not be true. He's like the top shoutcaster. He's the guy they bring in to do commentary on like professional streams and tournaments and shit. It's good, man. It's good. At one point, Day 9 plays a sloth. Yep. I think he also plays a badger mole and he's blind. It's
All right.
good. Listen, it's really good.
I'm gonna investigate this story.
All right, so let's ask some more questions. James,
See.
What the hell did my
you have some sort of magical item on your character. I'm going to give you some choices. You have either a crystal ball that has black smoke that rotates through it endlessly, or a wand with the head of a dragon on the end of it, or you have a coin that always lands on its edge. You're not sure what this item does, and I mean that to any of the items. Which one would you like to have?
Oh, well. I mean, I have to have something that instills wonder in the populace. So I'm going to go with the dragon head and wand.
Of course. You haven't been able to figure out this dragon head and wand yet, but it seems powerful.
Of course.
Of course. Dragon iconography, I think, in this world is a pretty big deal. Like, dragons are quite powerful. In fact, the dragon that will end the world, the Apocalypse Dragon, has been spotted from time to time burning villages and generally preparing for the end days.
Oh, I didn't explain what my vision was.
That's right. You didn't have that vision yet.
I did write it.
Excellent. Let's hear
And
about that.
I don't know where it's going to end up, but basically, the vision is this: I find myself in a massive forest alone, and I find just randomly on the ground an ornate like wizard's staff with like jewels on it and runes carved all in it. So I just pick it up, easy as can be, walk along with it, start like firing fireballs at trees and stuff, and all kinds of coolness, and it's awesome. But then I shoot like a bee's nest with it, and the bees start to like come out and swarm around, and they're about to like come down and kill me. But then a bear like jumps out of the woods and steps in front of me and like starts swatting the bees. Then it goes up to the nest and swats it into the river. But then somehow the river like swells up, like maybe my wizard staff falls into the river, and it swells up and engulfs all of us, and then we all fall down a waterfall. I don't know what it
believe
means.
The bear in this vision is actually.
It's in, yeah. I mean, Emery is obviously the bear, right? Because he's probably physically protected me at least once.
Interesting. And we
So-
learn more about Emery, that maybe sometimes he steps in front of a blow for you.
So, by the way, that also plays really well into the fourth bond that I have, which is the second one with Max, and it's Max has no respect for nature, so I have no
definitely
respect for them.
No, nature is silly.
Allow
And
me
even though-
to
Even though I
letterman
don't
that.
even though I don't respect you, I will protect you.
Wow, that worked.
Excellent. Emery. Where you're near, you have a friend. Let me ask you.
Bear.
No. What is the nature of that friend? I'm going to give you three choices. Is it a magical beast, a fake creature, or a humanoid? You seem to be thinking pretty hard. We'll come back to that one, Jeff. Jim,
Yeah. Yeah.
you were taught by a master of the pipes, I think, right? Or did you pick it up yourself?
I think I picked it up myself.
Excellent. One of the following songs has become quite famous, and it was written by you. Let me know which one was yours. There is a dirge called The Tale of Ileana. It's very mournful, and people play it at funerals. It's very sad. Or perhaps it was Walking Alone in the Woods. It is a song about a man who walks alone in the woods for hours on end and talks about the simple things he sees. It's considered very like new age, like I walked along in the woods and I found stuff, and there's a pipe accompaniment to it. It's very Icelandic, basically like a saga. Or is it it's just a jaunty tune, just like a something that a satyr might dance to, perhaps.
Something
Which
that
one
everybody knows.
Can't it be a killing jig?
It could be a killing jig. Satyrs are known for their bloodlust.
And Arthur, no, my headset was breaking up, so I didn't hear your question. I was trying to listen.
Excellent. I will come back to that in a second. Jim, which song do you think you probably
The
got from this
Dirge
song?
of Ileana.
Of course. Yeah. I mean, so everywhere you go, people may know of you, or at the very least, they definitely know of the song that you established, which is a very sad song played on the pipes. It's basically like the elven version of Donny Boy, right?
I
We'll
don't
play
know
it at
Donny
the-
Boy.
The pipes are calling Donny Boy. Really?
How do you not know Donny Boy?
Everybody knows Donny Boy.
You know what? That's it, Jim. We can no longer be friends. I got to rethink the bonds.
So
Note
you know
to self: look up Donny Boy.
Yeah. Emery, you know someone in the local area. Is it a magical beast? Is it a fey creature? Or is it a humanoid?
Let's go with. Wow, that is a tough choice. I need a random 50-50.
Will you truly allow the dice to choose your fate?
I do.
Will you truly
It's a
create
bad
the wrong
idea.
bracket to create your
I
fate?
did, and
You
it
roll
is
a
going
one,
to be a
see?
magical beast.
Okay, tell me more about this magical beast that you befriended.
It was less that I befriended and more that Bear had brought to me.
Ah, I see. What is the nature of this beast? Is it an owlbear?
It is an owl bear.
The What is the name of this owlbear?
He has not revealed it to me.
Ah, fascinating. Oh, good. All right. So here's where we start. Imagine a wooded glade, right? So we've got like palm trees, basically like a Florida swamp, but without the swamp at the bottom. Lots of, big, lush. It's all plants that would normally be in a swamp. There's ferns on the ground, but the water is not. There's no water here. It's not soggy or anything. And everything is unusually bright green, like almost lime-ish green, maybe with a little bit of yellow dots on it. Even the wood of the trees is green. There is a man with a crocodile helm. So it's literally like a living crocodile is his hat.
That's cute.
And he has a
Huh.
mustache that comes out about a foot. That is pure red. And he has no other facial hair. And he stands 7 feet tall.
Oh,
And as the camera zooms around, we see that Max is bound in chains and on his knees before this man, with his friends standing on either side of him and the bear in the back. And the owlbear is talking. The owlbear is like, "But great king, can you not see that Max is not the one that has committed this crime? It is not his fault." And the king turns his back on you, and you see from behind that underneath his great cloak, he has a crocodile tail coming out from his rear area. And he says, They are all at fault, but especially Max. He has brought the dragons to our lands." And he slams his staff into the ground and says, "Max, what do you have to say for yourself, Dragon Tongue?"
just get it over with. I mean, you're gonna do what you're gonna do, and everybody knows you're all powerful. King K. Rule, whatever you call yourself. Let's get out of here.
I want to. You're chained on the floor before him, so you call him King K. Rule, and he's like, "Yes, I am King K of the land of Raul." And you're saying like you're gonna do whatever you're gonna do, and his hand like tightens on his staff, and he's like, "We dispense true justice here, Max. We are not like your people, the scum humans that infest our woods. You will be judged and brought to justice. Do not tempt my patience any further with your games and your obfuscations." What do you do? I'm asking it to the group.
Are we all bound, or is it
No,
just?
just him. The rest of you are just standing there.
Am I able to stand up?
You can certainly try.
I'll try to stand up.
All right.
And
Yeah,
I
you stand
will.
up.
I will attempt to release him from his bonds.
I see. You attempt to release him from the bonds. When you start moving to release him from the bonds, right? Like there's lots of locks all over the place, and when you do that, your owlbear friend is like, What do you think you're doing? Stop doing that. You're going to hurt yourself. And the king just throws his head back. He's laughing, and the crocodile on his head is also laughing when you start messing with the locks.
Interesting. And I will respond to the owlbear that I am attempting to remove him and his hostility from the area.
Okay.
Oh.
Are you still messing with the locks?
Not with the warning.
Okay. Oh no, we lost Jim. Curses. So I think, as...
Skype?
Yes, you're back.
What just happened? I didn't even touch anything.
I think you dropped. I think what happens is Max struggles to his feet while you're messing around with the chains. Maybe you shift enough around that he's actually able to at least get onto his knees and in a semi-standing stance. And the king turns away again and slams his staff into the ground and says, "Someone will be punished for this offense." What do you do?
My hands will be like this. I'll be like, I really didn't even know what I was doing. I mean, ignorance of the law doesn't exempt me, I know, but what am I charged with? I mean, come on.
So the owlbear is shaking its head. It's an owl, so when it shakes its head, it goes all the way left and then all the way right.
You mean it doesn't do the upside down twist?
No, it does the left and right thing, but it goes all the way left and then all the way right. And the king is hand on the staff again, is shaking with rage. And he is like, "What did you do? You brought the dragon to our lands. The apocalypse engine wanders my lands, searching for its talons. He says, I know that you have them, Max Havoc. I have seen in a dream that it is you who have brought this plague, this virulence to my villages."
Well, that's brand recognition.
Okay,
I think
Vinny.
when you say that, I think he snaps his fingers, right? Can you make well, let me ask. The chains start to tighten and pull you
Yeah.
back to the floor. What would you like to do about it?
Oh, I want to stay standing.
Okay. You want to stay standing. I think that you need to make a defy danger roll using
Okay.
your constitution because you're enduring the pain here.
By danger.
And that is on the
How-
basic move sheet. So that'll be all the way at the top of the PDF.
You roll it by enduring. So is that what is that? D6s?
Yep, 2d6 plus your constitution.
All right. No.
Very well. You stumble, hesitate, or flinch. Fascinating. I think you can stay standing, but you're going to take 1 point of harm.
Okay.
Or you can be pinned to the floor, but be perfectly safe.
Oh, I'm gonna stay standing. There's a lot
Alright.
of people around.
You
so.
take 1 hit point of harm as the chains begin to, cut in far enough that you've got, bruising underneath it. But you do stand almost heroically. Alright. The king, however, does not notice, as he is still facing away from you. His crocodile
I'll,
tail that's facing towards you guys kind of slithers back and forth, twitching.
I'll say, you know what? You're right. I did bring this down on everybody. But I do know a few things that might be able to help us out of this bind now.
So the king says, "Very well. You admit then that you brought the dragon upon us?"
My hands will be like, "Ugh."
He says, remove these two. And he points to Max. I'm sorry, to Emery and Dalewyn, and is like, remove these two. We shall begin the trial without his friends present. Won't need them.
Oh, what have I done?
And Owlbear looks at the two of you and is like, ooh. Jim, can you check the Roll20 real quick?
Yeah.
Up above his roll. Real quick. What do you guys do? Emery, Dalewyn? The owlbear is like looking at you. The king is telling you to leave the room immediately. Although it's not really a room, it's a glade.
I will attempt to stay with, and I'm sorry, King, but I will see this man through any judgment that you may have, whether it is good or bad.
Interesting. I feel like that should be a move. But perhaps not. Perhaps not. Yeah, so you insist that you stay, and the king is like, you would defy me? In my own realm? In my own court? He turns around again, and his mouth isn't actually moving, it's a crocodile at this time. His crocodile hat.
Well, defy is such a strong word for it. I wouldn't say defy you. Just you know.
Are you holding your hands up in game? Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
I wouldn't say defy you, but we like to stick together. I mean, you'll find we're a much more entertaining bunch when we're together.
So he just turns towards you and is like, enough! I'm done with this foolishness. Leave my court immediately. Your friend will be judged according to his crimes. And he has admitted to bringing the dragon to this realm.
Yeah, sir, if I may implore you, your majesty.
He says, guards!
Oh.
What did he do to bring the dragon here?
So, I think what happens is, like, little tiny fey creatures, like swarms of geckos with wings, start coming out of the glade. Like, let's say several hundred of them.
Mm-hmm.
And, yeah. When you ask what he's done, he's like, it doesn't matter how he's done it. He admitted to it.
But if we don't know what he's done, we can't undo it.
There's nothing to undo. The villages are burned. They will not be unburned.
We could stop the burninating.
He says you would stop the burnings after they've already happened.
Well, it's too late to stop the ones that already happened, but perhaps if we knew the problem and how we brought the dragon upon your end, we could unbring the dragon by sending him away,
He's like,
by taking him elsewhere.
I assume that your friend has not told you how he brought the dragon.
Well, I think that's pretty obvious.
Joining him. So he looks confused for a moment. Just seeing.
Did you confuse King Kai?
I think you need to make a charisma roll because you have leverage here. The leverage that you are applying is the knowledge of how to send the dragon away.
And so it's a roll two.
It's that you don't actually have that knowledge, but you're saying that you do. So
right.
It is a parlay roll. That is your leverage. What they need, the ability to send the dragon away. Even though I think it's been established that Max Powers has no idea how to control dragons.
I think that's pretty obvious.
He's just taking the fall for this for some reason. So make your charisma roll.
2d6 plus my charisma modifier.
Yes, indeed. Interesting. They need a concrete assurance of your promise right now. Oh man, that's so good. All right. The king says, "Very well. I will allow the two of you to stop the dragon for me.
Oh, whoa.
But I'm going to need his blood." And he points to Max Havoc.
All of it?
Well, at least the leader of it.
We're not gonna...
That can be arranged. Hang on, because we're gonna need him to stop the dragon. You hush. Do you want to get out of here? If so, just hush. It's only a leader. You'll be fine in a couple of days.
So you say he'll be fine in a couple of days, and the owlbear is like looking at you guys. He's like, "You are aware that King K is capable of blood magic. With your friend's blood in this amount, he will never be able to escape."
Well, if we do what we say, there will be nothing to judge us for.
Your royal crocodileness. I think that those are two sides of the same coin. You're double dipping in your punishment there. To have the blood and have us deal with the dragon is not fair punishment. Either you have his blood or we go find your dragon for you.
The king looks at you and says, "You stopping the dragon is not punishment. You have offered to do this on your own."
No, this was an offer that would get our friend off.
He starts laughing, but the crocodile head looks very serious.
I start laughing with him. Yes, you're very funny, your crocodileness.
And when you call him your crocodileness, he's like, "What?
Yeah, I'm
You
sorry,
call me?"
your royal crocodileness.
He looks at the owlbear and is like, "I don't understand. What is this creature saying to me?" The owlbear is like,
I want to know what the owlbear says.
the owlbear is literally making like
The
stop talking about
kill
your
it sign.
gestures.
Hmm.
I think the King K of the Land of Rule is like, "I demand to know why you would call me a crocodile."
Your magisterialness. I'm referring to this thing, and I point to my very stupid, worn-out traveling hat. You have a hat that looks like a crocodile, kind of like I have this silly hat that's got holes all over it.
So he raises an eyebrow.
And I'm just gonna shake my head, and I'm gonna go before I die.
Now, before you do, he raises an eyebrow, and the crocodile hat starts like looking very upset, like its teeth are showing. It's like, and he's like, "I'm wearing no hat. What is this you speak of?" And he starts like slamming his staff on the ground.
Yep, it's time.
What is
for
it
me
you're
to go.
speaking of?
Time for me to go.
I guess it's time for me to go as well.
Sorry, Max.
Max, I tried really, really hard.
Are you both turning and leaving then?
No.
Well, I tried to get Max out of there. It didn't work.
Your Majesty, I think my friend is stating that your visage is remarkably similar to a creature known as a crocodile.
He says,
I
"I know exactly what a crocodile looks like.
It is a
I look nothing
subaqueous
like one.
reptile.
Have you ever seen a crocodile with a mustache as fine as mine?"
No! Hence I said your visage has a likeness to.
And that is why I referred to you as your royal crocodileness.
The king turns toward the owlbear, who still has not received a name from you, and says, "Oh, what is a good name for an owl?" I don't want
What's
to go with Hedwig because that's Harry Potter.
you don't want to go with that?
I
What's
think his name is Owlin.
the
No, Owen. His name is Owen. He's Owen the Owl. There. He's like, Owen! And he's like, yes, your majesty. Like, isn't there some law against calling the king a crocodile? And the owlbear is like, I suppose there's some law in the royal books about insulting the king?
We meant it not as an insult, Your Highness.
So the king starts laughing, but the crocodile head is still got its mouth open and looking super serious. And he's like, much like your friend may not have intended to summon the dragon to our lands as he claims, your insulting me is not cognizant on whether or not you actually mean to insult me.
And at this point, you have just flown over my ability to logic, at least for my character, and I'm just going to shake my head.
Okay.
I is not smart man.
The king is like muttering to himself now. And just he switches hands with the staff. He throws it to his left hand and starts scratching his head. You notice like he's scratching underneath where the crocodile's jaw is, but not actually touching the crocodile.
So is you is or is you ain't?
Is that what you say to him?
No.
Okay. What do you guys do then?
I wait for his judgment.
Everyone's good with that?
I mean, it's gone kind of haywire, but I wait for his judgment.
We haven't heard from Max for a while. You're still standing, and the chains are trying to pull you down. What do you think of your friend's attempts to free you so far?
Well, I mean, traveling
What-
with someone like me, it's what they should be doing. But no, it's great. It's great.
Interesting.
I'm just kind of like, yeah, that's my entourage.
So you're basically
I love
just-
that we're now the entourage.
Yeah, you've accepted this situation totally then? Like you're not even making any attempts? All right.
Oh, well, I suppose I did think of something while I was waiting.
Okay.
I thought I could try to cast invisibility on myself and then, like, drop to the ground so that whatever is on me looks to be empty. But I don't know if that'll work
You're
very
covered
well.
in chains, so the chains will
Yeah.
just cover.
Is there anyone else around me?
There, your friends are next to you. The King K is probably within hands reach of you.
Oh. Well, I suppose,
He's kind of just been pivoting in place a lot to turn away from you and then turn back to you. The owlbear, I think, is a short distance away from you.
Well, I can't magic anything else. I could try to charm the king, but somebody else is going to see that.
What is your spell?
Charm person.
Yeah, you could try it.
I was thinking about just trying to. Yeah, I'll do it. I'll try to grab him.
Okay. Yeah, you cast Charm Person then. I believe that is a move for you.
Casting.
You
a
are
spell.
casting a spell.
Yeah.
Yeah. Roll plus int.
Plus int.
What does your spell casting look like?
Well, at this point, my hands are all chained up, but I still have to kind of do my kooky hand movements. Normally, I would have some kind of focus, but I guess I just kind of kneel down for a second and make it look like the chains are doing their thing. And then I grab some dirt and I just kind of rub it between my fingers, and I and then I slap it onto his leg, and as I touch him to finish the spell.
Oh, interesting. Now, because I'm all about YouTube getting fucked, before you make this roll, you haven't made it yet, right?
Nope.
Excellent. We're actually going to take a break.
Nice.
Because it's been 2 hours. We're going to cliffhanger the attempt to save yourself and not horribly fuck up casting a spell. Yeah.
Cool, because I need another really boozy beer.
Excellent. Excellent. So let me get a timer started here. Let's see here. Yeah, I think we'll be back in like 7 minutes here, guys. Thank you for following along so far. I know this is unusual, and hopefully it's been crazy, because that's how we like it. You know, do the things that you do by following, liking, and